Welcome to our tub. Come on in. It's warm inside, and there's always room for more.
This podcast contains adult material and is intended for mature audiences only. If you're under 18, grab your rubber ducky and find another tub. This one's not for you. Hello and welcome to episode 51 in the tub. I'm Mr. Berg.
And I'm Mrs. Berg.
And on today's episode, we have some special guests in the second half, or really, it's probably about 70%. We have an article in the first half we are going to discuss a little bit. And then in the second part, we do have a couple joining us. It is really some eye-opening experience for us. Something that's been on our radar for a while. Haven't had the opportunity to kind of dip our toes into the lifestyle travel realm, as this whole episode pretty much is going to consist of that. We brought in some specialists.
Yeah, I guess you could call them that.
Yes. So had a conversation with them, which we will bring you in the second half. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. And get your notebook out. Maybe you'll find yourself wanting a lifestyle getaway. All right. As we said, episode 51, just about to the 1 year mark, Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
And going to discuss, an article here in the first half. Not take up too much time. Kind of late here in the evening. Been a long weekend.
Yes.
Just returning from, as we had talked in previous episodes, our weekend, or about a day and a half getaway to the eastern part of the state. Over to, they say the cheesesteak capital of the state in Philadelphia. But if you follow our social media, nah.
The roast pork's where it's at.
Yeah, cheesesteaks are a bit overrated. You gotta go for the roasted pork sandwich with the sharp smoked provolone and broccoli rabe. That's where it's at when you go to Philly. So yeah, we drove out to Philly on Friday after work, check into a hotel, headed down to Club Risque, one of 3 locations. Got there to see Kenzie Taylor perform, hang out a little bit. Unique club. Mm-hmm. Pretty nice. What's funny is back during the pandemic, we were out there on a family trip. I was like, Mrs., I know where this club is. We passed it like 3 times. So, yeah, we walked into the club. It was pretty packed. Mm-hmm. Definitely busy. Unique setup. Mm-hmm. More of a triangle bar. This is their location that is in Philadelphia. They do have one out in Northeast and one north of Philly in Bristol. So this was their one in Philadelphia proper, I guess, kind of getting down into towards South Philly and toward the stadiums and everything. Yeah, go in. The bar was definitely unique. They had some VIP and bottle service seating on both sides, pretty much the length of the club. Good amount of seats at the bar. Mm-hmm. But again, the place was packed.
Yes.
As you got up to the VIP areas, they had small stages. I think there was 1 or 2 on the left side and 2, maybe 3 on the right side. And then in the middle of the bar, there were 2 stages, kind of platform set up in the middle of the bar.
Right.
Kind of unique. There's a club here that is set up that way. Definitely some separation there. And I almost wonder if that just led to, and nothing wrong with it, but the difference of some clubs. This is really actually, the difference that we've never really seen. Mm-hmm. Performers would be on the stage and they would dance and you would tip them.
Right.
And then after their dance, after they finished, they would come down and they worked their way around the bar looking for tips for their show that they just did. So it's kind of a double tip type thing. It was a little different. I don't know if that's just an area thing or if it's just the way the club is. But again, it's not a negative. It was just something different.
Right.
So club had...
Yeah, something we noticed we're not used to.
Yeah, exactly. So club had a kitchen, saw some food come out. Drinks were reasonably priced. Overall, it was a good time. So I did some stuff in Philly during the afternoon on Saturday, played tourists for a while, and hit the road back home.
Right.
For some family stuff we had going on first thing in the morning today, Sunday, as we record this. Again, fun trip.
Okay. Let's get to this article.
Let's dig into the article.
This is from where?
This is from The Times.
Times.
Based out of the UK, the London Times.
Okay.
And it is from back on December 7th. Actually, it was published there. We will have the link in the show notes for this if you want to read the article yourself. We're not going to, it's not story time with the Bergs. We're just going to highlight a few things about the article, talk about it a little bit before we get into our interview because it plays right in to the conversation.
Right.
And the guests we have coming up in a bit.
Yes. So it's titled Swinger Holidays Are on the Up. Here's why.
Yes. And it says, forget fly and flop. Today's holiday makers are into fly and swap breaks. The author is Annabelle Fenwick Elliott. And there's kind of another, just under the picture, I guess the caption of the picture, it says, swinging has become more mainstream post-lockdown. And that's some of what they discuss here in the article. Now we'll read the first paragraph. What the heck? So it starts out, it's, darling, what would you say if I told you I wanted us to become swingers? I asked my fiance this morning over breakfast, having read that a third of men would be open to the idea of more than one partner. Meanwhile, on TikTok, the hashtag, in quotations, swingers has been used more than 1.2 billion times, many accompanied by a mysterious pineapple emoji. 1.2 billion times? Mrs. What are you doing on TikTok? Because I don't have a TikTok. I don't know nothing about it. You're on TikTok. What are you doing? Fill me in.
I'm not doing anything on TikTok, but watching other people's stupid videos.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just wondering what I'm missing out on here. Not being on the TikToker.
Not much.
All right. So, as we kind of go down through this, one of the very interesting parts, a little ways down, and this came from, I'm probably going to murder his name, John Camau. I don't know if he's British or where he's from. So, but he said after COVID, it was like a dam broke. So he is the founder of Cruise Ship Mingle, which is a dating service. And he states that, what?
That had a 500% rise in signups post-lockdown.
Yes.
Interestingly, the website was launched with singles in mind. But he found that 70% of users were actually couples looking to swing. So, cruisers have long been doing it, but post-lockdown, swinging has definitely become more mainstream.
So a lot of this article, I guess the main majority of this article does talk about lifestyle cruises. Interesting. And I'm not sure, when we talk about that a little bit later, I mean, we've cruised. We've been on a few cruises. I've been on numerous cruises growing up. I don't know. A cruise could be, I guess, good and bad. I don't know. Here's another part of this article that really got me. When the author says that she spoke to an old university friend who said she was part of the lifestyle. And it's funny because she said, oh, I never would have thought.
Right.
She's always appeared so vanilla was the word that was used. And we've used the terms in the past, vanilla is not being in the lifestyle.
Right. But it does say that it's found that most people, or at least a lot of the people using the site and stuff, prefer to swing when they are on foreign land.
Yes, it's a vacation thing. As they discuss, inhibitions are down. You're just looking to have fun and relax and unwind. So
Well, right.
It's not a lifestyle and all the time.
Which I get. Like if you swing where you live, there's always that. What if we see somebody we know, or what if?
Well, sure.
What if it doesn't go well, and then we have to constantly see them at the club or whatever.
Yeah, we see them at the grocery store. Sure. So it's more of that.
The chances of seeing someone again if it doesn't go well when you're
On a cruise 1,000 miles away?
Right.
Sure, exactly.
Right.
Which, yeah, and there's, for the newbies, beginners just getting in, we had those concerns as well, so it makes sense. So, and again, it says, given that swinging is typically quite secretive, although it does say, being this is done out of England, does say that Brits make up a large percentage of a lot of the social media platforms and a lot of these cruises and tours that they discuss here. So, didn't we have a conversation at some point? Oh, it was a few episodes back when we were looking through the porn searches in our year-end review. It's not about tea and crumpets, or maybe it is about tea and crumpets, just a different tea and crumpets. Again, the growth in the lifestyle travel.
Oh, and the lifestyle in general post-pandemic.
And that's, again, a lot of what the discussion is here, that the lifestyle has grown. The lifestyle travel has grown, which, again, here's, this is coming from a British Canadian sex therapist and longtime swinger. She had said during the lockdown that a lot of relationship problems were amplified and led to separations. But on the other hand, it brought couples closer. They had time to talk about fantasies. And now that the lockdown and the pandemic is over, they want to live out those fantasies.
Right.
Because they've shared what may have been pushed back for so long. So again, yes, I hate to continue to go back and, you talk about, the pandemic and yeah, we're getting back to normal and let's get back to normal and we're back to normal. And what negative effects the pandemic had on the world as a whole. From the lifestyle end, it's grown it. Would you say it's a positive? Well, I don't want to sound overly perverted and nasty and say there's more fish in the ocean now.
No, but I think whether or not it's positive or negative for the couples themselves depends on the reasons for getting into the lifestyle.
That's always an important, because we've as well talked before. If things aren't right in your house, you shouldn't be playing.
Right.
And if getting into the lifestyle is an attempt to fix problems, well, that's not the right way to go about it.
At least not in most cases we've seen.
No. So again, growth, yes, good. For, gosh, I don't want to even say veterans, but long-time lifestylers, I guess. You see some of those always had been vanillas now dipping their toes in, and you're going, boy, I would have liked to try to convert them 5-8 years ago. But now they converted themselves or are slightly converting themselves. So there is a growth with the new faces. Right.
There's another part of this article that says that about 40% of event attendees were newbies compared with about 20% pre-pandemic. So there's a lot more people deciding to explore their fantasies.
Yes,
I
whatever they may be.
Right. And I think I think I've said it before. It comes back to, yes, we were locked down and people weren't able to get out. But I think also that, like, we didn't know what was going to happen.
We didn't know if we were ever going to come out of lockdown.
Right. Right. And people weren't surviving it. So I think there's been kind of that you only live once mentality, and why aren't we just trying what we want to do? What are we so worried about? We might not have time if we don't do it now.
Yeah. Get out, have fun, enjoy your life, do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And it again says right after that in the next, cruises remain perhaps the most well-known format for swinging holidays.
Right.
Now, at the same time, again, this is coming from England. Here in the U.S., we hear about hedonism in Jamaica and temptation and desire and, clubs down throughout the Florida area. So there are locations. Not sure that those exist in England.
Well, but think about it too, especially from the standpoint of not sure if you want to get in. Personally, for me, those resorts, I don't want to say that it's more in your face, but like that's what those resorts are. On a cruise,
from what we've heard, sure.
Right. On a cruise, it can't be so much out in the open because of rules. So,
which we've found out from the conversation coming up later on.
Right. But as someone who's not sure.
Exactly. Yeah. It takes a lot of thought process. Where I was going was, are there places like that there? Because if you want to explore and try something from England to Mexico to Desire or even to Jamaica is a long way. You're traveling halfway around the world for those. Mm. You're looking at a cruise that's something that would be like us going from Pittsburgh to Florida.
Yeah.
If they're going to get a Mediterranean holiday cruise or something like that. Now, again, when you get into those European countries, a lot of them are a lot more sex positive than we are here in this country.
Right.
It's changing. It's changing slowly. Mm-hmm. But again, the U.S. is not nearly as sex positive as European countries are.
Right.
That's just a fact. Mm-hmm. And again, they talk to someone else.
Mm-hmm. I'd say it's
a
couple.
Yes. They talk to a couple, and they've been on cruises. Now you come to the upside down pineapple that people are putting on their doors on these cruise ships to let others know. And this couple has said that there's a lot of guests that see that. They know what that means from seeing it around, and they've been asked questions. Right. There's interest of people that are there on a vanilla vacation that are just inquisitive and want to know. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have some vanilla friends that know our end of the lifestyle, and they've had plenty of questions. Mm-hmm. But again, minds are opening up. Minds are driving this type of business right now. Mm-hmm. Really, at the end of the day, I think this last paragraph really sums it up. So we'll kind of hit on this and then probably take a short break and then hop right into our interview. Mm-hmm. But this last paragraph, fancy following suit? Talk it through with your partner a few thousand times. Make sure your relationship is solid. Swinging will magnify whatever is otherwise going on. Talk to your significant other.
And keep an eye out for upside down pineapples on your next cruise.
Mm-hmm. The talk is huge. We've discussed that in the past, especially, I guess, if you're looking to go really on a vacation like this. Mm-hmm. Talk to both your partner, your significant other, as well as a travel agent, friends that may have done it. Get the information.
Right.
We will say again, we're going to take a short break here. And when we come back, we're going to hop right into a conversation that we had with John and Sheila, the owners of World Exotic Travel. We've crossed paths and met them a few times over the years at Exotica conventions. We have a mutual friend that when we saw this article, we had reached out to her and said, hey, would she want to talk about lifestyle trips?
Right.
Because she's been on a lot of them. And she directed us to John and Sheila. Just happened to work out pretty well that they were coming up to the Pittsburgh area to actually fly out of town and go on a trip with a group that they had out at Hedonism. Our schedule worked out right. We were able to go out, grab dinner with them, sit, have a good dinner, have a couple cocktails, and then really sit down and ask them the questions, again, that we had, because we've never done something like this. It's always been something on our radar, just have never pulled the trigger. So we definitely learned some stuff here. Hopefully you guys, if you're listeners, if you're ever thinking about that, you'll learn a little bit as well. Reach out to the professionals. They give their website and their contact information on here. So do not hesitate to reach out. Ask them questions. They can direct you in the right way.
Right.
They are specialists. This is what they do for a living, and they're pretty freaking good at what they do. So again, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to hop right into our conversation with World Exotic Travel. All right, welcome back to part 2 of this week's episode. As we discussed in part 1, a little bit of the article coming out of the London Times in regards to lifestyle travel and the increase. As we said, we wanted to bring some guests in that really are kind of, say, specialists in that realm. And as we are not, being it's still on our bucket list. So everybody please welcome John and Sheila from World Exotic Travel. How are you guys?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. Well, again, thank you for joining us today. We actually just had the pleasure of sitting down and having a nice meal, really getting to know each other, learn a little bit about what you do. And so now it's kind of time to bring some of those questions to the listeners as well. As first off, is there a place where somebody that's listening and may say, hey, might be something we're interested in, can find you guys?
Absolutely. WorldExoticTravel.com or 1-833-2-GET-WET. We use the abbreviation WET a lot of times for World Exotic Travel.
And, hey, exotic travel and, well, kind of go hand in hand.
It kind of does.
Cool. Well, great. So I guess we'll kind of jump right into some of these questions. And as we had said, the article that we talked about earlier really talked about the growth in it. Lifestyle people, I know I've seen it. We've kind of explored it a little bit in the past. But I guess the first question is for someone that has never been on a lifestyle vacation. If they call you, reach out to you, what is the first thing you're going to say to them?
Well, first thing I tell them that I was scared to death. We wanted to go to Hedonism on our honeymoon. And we both talked ourselves out of that. We said we weren't ready. 10 years later, we went to Hedonism for the first time as a host couple, which was really going in. Not to worry. That's the biggest thing. Don't overthink it. These vacations can be as mild or as wild as you absolutely want them. We have multiple resorts and cruises that we can tailor a vacation according to your comfort level. Someone that's new that really don't think their lifestyle, but they want to have a risque vacation, we may send to Temptation Resort, which is topless optional for the girls, but guys have to be clothed. Same with their cruises. And we can work them up to something like Desire or Hedonism.
Okay. That's great to know. So that was going to be another question, kind of, if you're new in the lifestyle or maybe dipping your toes in it, is there one, I guess, location or type of vacation you would recommend for the newbie, the beginner, the unsure?
Yeah, there's a couple of them that we recommend. First off, I think one of the best short vacations you can do is Naughty in New Orleans. And I say that because it's a 4-day conference in New Orleans. It's cheap, but that you have everything that you're going to see at a resort, plus you're going to have seminars, great seminars about Lifestyle 101, the beginning into lifestyle. And there's educational classes. If you're curious about BDSM, there's a dungeon and there's classes for that. So it's a good educational place to start. The second place would be like Bliss Cruise. Bliss has a lot, again, of education, meet and greets. They educate you on the lifestyle. So you're not alone being one of the newbies.
And I think that's good to know because, yeah, I've seen the cruise stuff in the past and going, okay, how does that kind of work and play? Is that all out debauchery on a cruise ship?
It really is as mild or wild as you want it to be, quite honestly. I mean, all of the cruises that we cater to, the Bliss Cruise, the Desire Cruises, Temptation Cruise, have playrooms on board. So if you are in the lifestyle, there's that opportunity. If you want to meet another couple and go to a group room or a playroom, it's available. However, if you're not into that and you don't go to the playroom, you're never going to know it's there.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You're not going to see.
You are not going to see it. They are not allowed to have open sexual activity in the main areas of the cruise ship.
That was going to be some of the question. You hear about the resorts, but a ship.
You can be nude around the pool, and a few other small places here and there on the ship. But as far as playtime, you either go to the playroom or back to your own cabin.
Yep.
There is no open play in front of everybody.
No public voyeurism.
Well, unless you're in the group room.
Sure.
And you know why you're there. And even then, it's still a no means no. So you still have everybody that is in whatever aspect of the lifestyle they're in, whether they're a voyeur, whether they're an exhibitionist, whether they're full swap, soft swap, whatever, it's still no means no.
The consent, sure.
Yes.
And if they want to be an exhibitionist, they most certainly can. They can play with their own partner right there in front of everybody. Or if they're just into being a voyeur, they can sit on a couch and watch. I mean, it's just really whatever everybody is interested in and what you're comfortable with and where your comfort level is actually at, on even whether you enter that space.
It's quite interesting to walk into one of those playrooms where there's 50 to 70 beds in one room.
Wow.
Now they're separated most of the time by pipe and drape.
Sure.
To give you some privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's an interesting place to walk through. Again, New Orleans has a whole floor of the hotel is nothing but playroom. It's one of the conference centers, and they have different playrooms, so it can be tailored towards you. They have a singles playroom where there's some single guys. They have hall pass rooms. They have a dark room where you can't see your hand in front of your face, so you have no idea.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And a local
not
club.
everybody's cup of tea, but it is somebody's cup of tea,
And-
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes, and a local club here has done some of those nights as a theme. Mm-hmm. And yes, I think we've talked about it in the past on past episodes. The quote unquote lifestyle it's such a broad term because there's so many things that fall underneath that.
Absolutely. It
And
is.
you get a lot of people that don't even realize that they technically are lifestyle because they just, a lot, especially the younger generations, the people that are in their mid to late 20s, lifestyle is not a thing for them. That's just how they grew up and
Sure.
what
Yeah,
their
the
experiences are.
Younger generation doesn't want a label. And that's what's
No.
making this industry really boom. They don't want a label. They just want to be open and free.
Have fun.
That's
yeah.
it.
Right.
Live your life. Have fun.
And that's it.
And again, nothing wrong with that. That stigma is changing.
Absolutely.
We've again talked about since the pandemic a growth within some of the sites of new members with clubs, new members. Back a few episodes ago, we did an interview and we sat down with the owners of the Body Shop here in Pittsburgh, and just the expansion and the growth within their club as far as members and things. The same. Based on the article earlier on this episode, that is the same with travel.
It is. We've been noticing it. It's twofold. For one, COVID had us locked down for a year. And you're locked down with someone that you're married to or living with, working day to day and doing 40 hours. It's kind of hard to still get to know that person. Well, when you're locked down, you're going to talk about anything and everything. So we notice a lot more people saying, we're really open to do this, but we're not lifestyle. I said, that's okay. You don't have to be lifestyle. Take it. Most of the people call back and say, oh my God, we had such a good time. I think we might be titled as lifestyle now because we enjoyed it so much. The other side of it is the younger generation. They come up with a different outlook on life with sex. When we grew up, we were told, it was bad and, that subdue. The younger generation doesn't have that. So they're doing this type of travel just as a normal thing. So that's why everything's exploding right now. It really is.
And honestly, if you just want to go on a cruise and not have children around you, as long as you're open-minded as far as being able to see nudity, you don't have to be naked on the pool deck.
Sure.
You know,
About
if-
40% choose to be naked on the pool deck at
the
most.
parties on the pool deck are phenomenal.
Yeah.
All day long. I mean, there's DJs, there's games going on, there's
Naked belly flop contests. They were always a classic.
there's all kinds. They come up with some really interesting games and ways to interact with everybody that's
We've
there.
seen phone parties on ships. They did all.
Wow. Okay. I could.
So regardless of what your level of lifestyle is, or even if you don't consider yourself lifestyle, you can still have a good time at the resorts as well as the cruises, as long as you're open-minded sexually and able to accept that other people are going to be naked around you.
Yeah. And I guess too, you said people are, oh, I'm not sure I'm in the lifestyle. Well, you don't want to throw that label, but if somebody is watching porn, watching the adult industry, you're kind of a voyeur at that point,
Yes.
which is a title and a subcategory in the lifestyle. So there
Absolutely.
is that if you're comfortable with your significant other watching porn, you're a voyeur.
Yep. And we tell a
Not
lot
to
of
throw
people,
labels.
It's a very wide
Yes.
brand. Lifestyle's just a brand. It's
Yeah.
it's what flavor are you?
Exactly. It's a
Right.
tip of the umbrella, and everything spreads out from
and
there.
it's huge. The
Yes.
different subcategories, and you could talk for hours.
Yeah. And they keep there's always an addition.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
keep adding
There
and
is.
adding. It's like,
Absolutely.
wait a minute. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
One thing that we always tell people that are fairly new to the lifestyle and lifestyle travel is that you need to be transparent with your partner.
Yes.
Be open and honest with what you want and what you expect. And
Communication is key.
absolutely. You have to be open and able to talk about what you've seen, what you want to do, what you don't want to do.
About 10 years ago, we were on a couples cruise. And it was first night, and we were on the deck, and we were talking to some people we knew, and there was this young couple kind of deer in headlights looking around. And we said, "Is this your first lifestyle cruise?" And they said, "Is that what this is?" And we kind of laughed. And they said, "We booked a couples only cruise. We didn't read much into this." And I'm like, "Oh." And it was funny because we ran into them, and
We're like, we read as far as no children on board.
and clothing optional, and we were sold. And I said, "So honestly, what do you think about this? What you see here?" And she goes, "Oh, we're checking all this out."
She's like,
At
we'll
the
get
end-
back to you at the end of the
At
week.
the end of the week, they're like, "Yeah, we're 100% lifestyle. We should have did this years ago." You know, it's just so funny.
Read the small print.
Yes, read this. But, you know, I mean, a good agent will call, and I spend more time talking about comfort levels
Sure.
to my clients. You know, and that seems to be where I get more business we teach Lifestyle 101 at Exotica and different places like that. And we get more business from the teaching and talking about it than I do just trying to be an outright salesman.
Sure. Yeah. And again, that's being upfront and honest. We talked about that kind of prior during dinner. Because the last thing you want is for somebody to go on a trip that they're paying a couple $1,000s for and be like, "What in the hell is this? Oh my gosh, what did you sell me on?" And you risk losing a customer.
Oh, I have seen agents tell people when they call in, "We're 40 years old. Is there going to be a whole bunch of 40-year-olds on this trip?" And they're like, "Tell them, yeah, everything." And I'm like, "No, don't lie to them. If it's going to be 60 years, if it's going to be 60 years, if it's going to be the 60-year-old people, you don't want to send your 30s and 40s on. You know, you need to be honest with them about the type of trip. You know, the median for these type of trips is 40s to mid to late 60s.
Because you got to realize when you go to a resort that is a very specific niche resort, like Desire or Hito or Temptation, you pay a premium for that.
Sure.
And, you know, sad to say, but a lot of the younger generation that are just starting their careers, just starting their families, cannot afford that premium.
Mm-hmm.
So your demographic for the age goes up a little bit because it's older adults. It's, you know, it's the people that can afford it, and it's the people that don't usually have a lot of things in their life that hold them back.
Yeah.
A lot of other responsibilities.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Fair. And
Right.
as we said, we've yet to book something like this. You know, listeners know we have a senior in high school who's an athlete. We're always moving. We're always running. The time and finances and everything just haven't been the priority. So, a lot of that kind of is going to have to go into it.
Yeah, and I mean, it was the same with us. What got us into this industry was my wife not playing by the rules years ago. She always wanted to go on a cruise. And I said, "No, I don't ever want to go on a cruise." And she booked a cruise, and she says, "You know, there's going to be 2,000 clothing optional people on this. You're going to have a blast." And I was dead set against it. It was 18 months out. She said it was non-refundable. I literally raised hell with all my friends that I didn't want to go. Went on the cruise, and they're like, "Okay, Grumpy, how was the cruise?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you ain't gonna believe this."
I'm going into business and I'm selling them now.
They told me, they said, "You ought to sell these," and that's kind of where I did, you know.
Ah, see? Uh-huh.
So her not playing by the rules for once actually worked out well.
So somebody books a trip with you guys, whether it be resort, cruise. They come to you and say, "Well, what should I pack? What should I have?" What's that talk?
You can look at it as this. You are going to a resort that's clothing optional or a cruise that is clothing optional. Technically, you could take less clothes than any other vacation you've ever been on. But in reality, people pack twice as much because
They have
there's
theme nights.
There's,
So-
you dress up for dinner, you change clothes for the theme night. You've got, 3 outfits for one day.
Yeah.
We've heard that
5 million
from
bathing suits.
yeah.
Or zero.
Just bottom or just bottoms or whatever. But and it's funny because we have heard that from friends that we know that have gone and they're like, well, you got to look and we're going for a week and you got 6 theme nights when we're going to be there and you got this and so like all right, clothing optional, but then you're packing
a party, something for a party every night.
Exactly,
Now,
double
what
suitcases.
What I typically tell people, most people, unless you are the big party person and you always want to fit in with whatever the theme is, pick 2 or 3 themes in the week that you really like. Take costumes for those and have fun those nights. The other nights, just dress normal and have a good time. And don't worry about
not
it.
everybody dresses
Right.
for them.
Because you're going to realize that probably only half the people at the resorts and on the cruises actually dress the theme. And you'll get some that are way over top.
Oh,
Super
Some that have
super
even going to the
high-end
clubs.
costumes
Right.
that you sit and you look and you're like, wow.
there's an elderly couple.
Neon lights and,
and then-
battery packs.
Yeah, and then you'll see the people that just show up in their jean shorts and tank top. And either one is okay. Anywhere in the middle is okay. So, unless you're the kind of person that has to dress for every theme, pick a few that you really like and go with it.
I know that I've looked at themes, even going to the clubs, and I've been like, what do you even do for that?
Right? Yeah, some of them are very difficult to figure out.
Yeah. Well, and she's right. Even going to clubs, there have been theme nights we've gone to clubs, and she's changed 4 times before we left the house to find the right one. And I'm
I've
like,
seen people change 4 times at the club.
During the night, yeah.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, people come in with 3 sets in the club, and I'm like, boy, we're going for a week for that. Yeah, that's taken. I'm spending another plane ticket for extra baggage.
Well, what's interesting is on the Desire, especially at Temptation Cruises, they'll have daytime pool themes, and then they'll have the nighttime theme too sometimes. So,
Oh gosh, you're killing
you
me.
can throw it away.
It's the Desire ones, they're very nice cruises, don't get me wrong. They're very nice cruises. But he's right, they will have a pool party theme, then they'll have a nightly theme. And through the course of the week, they usually have 3 pool party themes. Like the one we were just on, just came off the Rio cruise for Desire, and they had a rubber duck theme for the pool party one day.
Very interesting
And-
thing. Some of them.
I was going to say, how does that work into?
There was everything from women walking around nude with rubber ducks suction cup to their nipples to people that were completely dressed head to toe in yellow, and it was just bizarre, some of it.
Very interesting.
And it's a cruise. I've been on a lot of cruises growing up, and I'm like, I want to take the bare minimum because, I'm waiting for porters to bring my bags to the room. I'm waiting for them to take them off. And there's not a lot of room in a ship cabin.
No.
You can only stack so many suitcases
I'll
in a
tell you,
cabin on a boat.
You would be surprised if you ever go on one of these lifestyle cruises. Some of the people, I've been in some rooms where people are very theme oriented, and the walls are metal, so they will bring magnet hooks.
Oh,
And
okay.
they will have hooks all around their room with clothes hanging on all these hooks.
The inside track of veterans.
I will say that don't ever decide to take 2 girls from your staff on a cruise together. You cannot walk in that room. The shoes start at the door and they finish at the door.
You get to the point where they're bringing baby safety netting for around the balcony railing and stuff's piled out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah,
That's
you
an
know,
idea.
We do have a lot of tips for things like that to help compact things. We've learned
Well,
over
that's
the
great.
years.
Again, that
But-
veteran stuff.
Yeah, and we pass that along in different blogs or posts, to help people pack a little bit better. These Facebook groups are ingenious on ideas for themes or to just save room in your cabin,
Sure.
What
Okay.
did we do before social media?
Yeah, I know.
We struggled.
Yeah, literally.
Made actual paper lists.
Yes, we did.
So we talk about resorts, like you've mentioned Desire, you mentioned Temptations, you mentioned Hito. Is there a difference? Obviously, there are different companies, different locations. Is there a difference within like each resort?
Yes.
Is one all inclusive?
Yes.
Is one more this, that?
All three of those resorts that you mentioned are all inclusive.
Which Temptation is now open 2 locations in Meaches, Dominican Republic.
Oh,
As
okay.
well. One of them has a clothing optional area, jacuzzi area, and the other one is topless like Temptation. But yes, they're all inclusive.
As far as picking which one to go to, it depends on what you enjoy and what you like. You got to realize if you go to Hito, they have a nude pool, 100% nude pool. You cannot go to it if you're not nude, and that's where all the parties
That's
are.
the party place.
So if you are not comfortable or you honestly don't think you're going to be comfortable getting nude, then that may not be the right place for you. However, I will honestly say whether you're comfortable being nude or uncomfortable being nude, Hito is a leveling ground.
Yeah.
It's there's no judgment.
There's no judgment. The parties down there, our entertainer is at Hedonism right now, entertaining its lifestyle month at Hedonism. And, he is doing 2-hour sets at the pool. We send a DJ on all of our group trips, and he's doing 2-hour sets at the pool. We have 2 host couples down there with him that help out with games during the pool session, and some of them are pretty ingenious games. We have one that we call Dicasso. A couple friends of mine were talking about it. We kind of invented it. He gets the guys to lay down on a blanket at the pool on their belly, and then he gets the girls behind him and says, okay, break out the strap-ons. And of course the guys about flip. The strap-ons actually have paintbrushes embedded in the end of them. Hands-free, they have to dip them in the paint and paint a picture on the guy's back.
Nice.
So those are the type of games you're going to see.
just funny.
Just
Yeah.
fun stuff. Just fun
But-
stuff to make it light. After you're down there for 5 minutes, you don't even realize you're naked. Everybody's eyes are up here. No one's eyes are everywhere else.
And I was going to say, everybody's laughing. It's almost like a weird icebreaker as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're standing next to somebody and you're like, look at this, isn't this crazy? Next thing you know, you didn't know them 2 minutes ago, but you're like, oh my God. And you start a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is, and again, that is something that, some people, when it comes to, we're not quite sure about the pool nude, topless. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, does hedonism have 2 sides?
They do.
It's an
So it's
invisible
the
split.
nude and the prude.
Well,
is what we've
That is
heard.
what most people call it.
They
yes.
referred to. I don't want to
Now,
get anybody,
The entire resort is clothing optional. So whether you're on the prude side or you're on the nude side, you can go completely naked on the prude side if you want.
Okay.
But you can also be clothed completely. On the nude side, for the most part, if you're walking around, most people are clothed or some kind of cover up on until you there are signs on the beach as well as on the walkway area that say beyond this point you must be nude.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean you got to stand by the sign and strip. most people think that first time we
Yeah, we-
went there.
There's the sign, stop,
First
drop
time we
trowel.
went, we were like, oh my gosh, this is the divider line. We have to get naked.
The point of no return.
We stood in the middle of the beach and stripped down. Then we get there and realize there's cubby holes all along the wall by the pool.
They literally give you about 2 minutes, and then security will come up and
once you
remind
get
you.
to the pool area, you pretty much just walk over to the cubby area and undress, put your stuff in a little cubby.
No,
And
So security comes and reminds you to take your clothes off,
Yes.
not put
Correct.
them back on.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's opposite of
quite
anything.
different, quite different. Now,
Yes.
you had asked about difference in resorts. Absolutely, there's a major difference depending on resorts and location. Mexico is a very service-oriented country. You go to Mexico and you want to go down to one of the beach chairs, you probably won't make it to that chair before someone will grab your towel and say, please, sir, let me take this. Lay it out and then ask you what kind of drink you want. You go to Jamaica, you're not getting that. But Jamaica is a 24/7 party. Desire is very scheduled. They have, your pool is clothing optional at Desire. You can be nude or prude, whichever way. Then typically in the evenings you go and you go to dinner. Then you'll grab a drink at the bar. And then they have a show each night in the disco, which are top-notch shows, very sexual-oriented. And they'll do the show. After the show, it's your choice. You can stay in the disco, or a lot of people go to the hot tub. At Hito, you go to the pool most of the day, you eat dinner, then you have your choice to go to the piano bar, do a piano bar sing-along, go to the disco, hang out in the courtyard. They also have nightly entertainment that lasts about 3 hours. It starts right around dinner time and goes till 10 p.m. at night. So Hito is very entertainment driven. The huge EC crew, very talented individuals, probably some of the best I've seen. Some of them have been begged to leave Hito to go to Broadway, and they would not do it. Winston was begged by the general manager to go to Broadway, and he said, no, Hito's my home. And that's where he stayed. And again, Temptation is a little bit different bird too. It's not a lifestyle resort. A lot of lifestyle people go to it. It's a little more inexpensive. It's topless optional. We actually made the decision a couple years ago, after being in a sales meeting with them, that we would offer a trip to our daughter to go to Temptation, just to see how she liked it, because it's not lifestyle. And she come back and told us we were marketing it a little bit wrong, and it was probably one of the best vacations they ever had, because again, the pool entertainment at Temptation is off the hook all day long. The pool does shut down at night, unlike Hito.
They'll do a Congo line through the pool.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do all
like
kind of fun
crazy
things.
stuff. Lots
Just
of
fun
things.
stuff. Again, adult-oriented, but not to the point to where we felt uncomfortable sending our own daughter to try.
Well, yeah.
So, and she enjoyed it. I would probably never send her to Hedonism. I'd never send her to Desire. Might not even let her do a Temptation cruise. But Temptation Resort, absolutely. And she had a good time, and I think that they'll probably go back. They just really loved it.
Actually, she wants me to give her a price for this summer. With her friends.
So, yeah, she come back and told all her friends about it. So, we're actually the cool parents from what her kids look at, her friends look at.
All right. So, as we talked about the all-inclusive, so is there, I guess, a fair amount that you would say to budget of stuff that wouldn't be tied into those all-inclusives if you're doing, whether it be a land or a cruise? There's always going to be something extra.
On your cruises, unless if you're on Bliss Cruise, alcohol's not included. So you need to budget that in if you plan on drinking.
Okay.
And cruise ships are kind of pricey for alcohol. Now, Temptation and Desire cruises include your alcohol package.
A basic alcohol.
A basic
yes.
alcohol package.
Yeah.
So if you're good with
Wine and beer
bottom
and
to middle shelf and house wines,
yeah.
I think they say anything up to like $10 a drink or something like that.
They
Yeah.
have now on both the Desire and Temptation, they have a list of the alcohols that you can get.
Okay.
You know,
It was only
and you can
$115
still
to
get-
upgrade
you
package
can
to the
still
pre.
get
That's
your-
nothing.
your
That was nothing. I did it in a
martinis
heartbeat.
You know, you can still get your martinis and your mixed drinks and all of that. You're just going to get the bottom shelf alcohol in them versus top shelf.
Which in most of those, they're well or bar bourbon vodkas still aren't. You're not looking at Smirnoff,
No.
you know,
No,
or yeah.
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 I mean, I drank a lot of Jameson on this last
Other
cruise.
things you have to take into consideration, excursions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Most of the cruise lines and the resorts don't include excursions. So if there's something that you definitely want to do based on where your location is, then you need to include your excursion.
Most of the
for
resorts
that.
have a catamaran cruise that they go out a couple times
the
a week.
nude cruise or the booze cruise.
Booze
that
cruise,
you'll
nude
call.
cruise, they're a blast. I mean, at Hito, you get on one and they take you to Rick's Cafe.
I've heard about Rick's, and you climb up the stairs all the way up to the
Yeah.
top. I've heard people
When I
talk.
was in my 20s, I jumped off the cliffs. I
Jump the
would
cliffs?
Not do it at this age. I can remember jumping.
Enough rum punch, maybe.
But, I don't know. I remember looking and saying, "How do I have to jump to the right to miss that rock?" No, man, 40 foot down, you clear it. I mean, you know, it's scary, but yeah, I think I jumped 90 feet.
No,
No, 60 feet.
60.
60 feet.
We both did the 60-foot jump.
Oof. Yeah.
It stings a little when you hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
I got big rudders, so they turn me
women-
right side up really quick.
For women, don't put your hands above your head when you have a bikini top on.
Because it's at the top of the water and you're at the bottom of the water. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like it was floating on the surface.
You know, a lot of people want to go to Rick's. When we do our group tours down there, a lot of times we'll do a romantic dinner at one of the nice restaurants downtown. And there's one that's on the cliffs in the grill, and we do a sunset dinner, and it's not that expensive. It probably costs $50 to $100 for a couple to eat there. Beautiful sunset in the middle of it.
Depends on what you order.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, you know, there's a lot to do in Jamaica. Mexico, not so much. I mean, people do go into town shopping and whatnot,
But
you
do
know.
it with an excursion.
But they do it with an
group of
excursion.
A group of people,
Yeah.
sure.
You know, there's a lot of places you don't want to leave the resort unless you're with a group. So a lot of times when we do our hosted group travel to Desire, to Temptation, to Hedonism, we organize excursions.
Sure. So you got to think about safety.
Yeah, we do. We've done the bar hopping. We hired a bus and took 25 couples on the bus and went bar hopping through Negril.
Ooh.
Those
All right.
bars, the bars are a little different in the grill. The police station used to have a bar. They supplemented their income by having a bar at the police station. So you'd be sitting there having a drink, and they're beating a prisoner into the cell next to you. Quite different.
Nice. Yeah. Hey.
You know, there's a lot to do at these resorts that you don't have to do excursions. I have went to Hedonism with $100 in my wallet, and I've come home with $100 in my wallet. You know, Hedonism doesn't allow tips, so what we do for Hedo is we actually take candy down because they don't get chocolate in Jamaica, very good chocolate. So we'll take Hershey's miniatures down, and oh my God, that staff just loves it. You know, that's their tip. They like that. You know, Desire is a 5-star resort. You're going to get pampered there. It is gorgeous. The food is unbelievable. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be pampered,
And it
or if
depends
you want to party.
on your budget. And,
Yeah.
and at any given time, you could probably go to Hedo or Desire for about the same price. It's more dependent on airfare than it is on the resort pricing because the resorts
Sure.
are priced fairly competitively. And it just depends really on what you're looking for out of your vacation.
We do.
If you want a big party atmosphere, then we generally recommend Hito, because Hito's a nonstop party from
Or
literally morning to evening, or Temptation.
Or Temptation. They're both party places.
If you want more of the service end, you want really good meals, you want really good drinks, you kind of want to be pampered a little bit with a nice spa and massages and things like that, then Desire's probably the place for you to go. It just really depends on what everybody wants.
We tell all our clients to try them all because, we love hedonism, but we absolutely love Desire too.
Sure,
for
fair.
different reasons. They're just two vast different resorts. We do other trips that aren't resorts. Like we have a scuba liveaboard trip that does the Exuma Islands, and it's all uninhabited islands that we'll get off on, and of course we're naked, and we'll have parties on the islands. Sometimes we'll have a bonfire. Then they snuff it out on the clearest night, and you get to see the stars with zero light.
Wow, nice.
We do an island takeover in Belize that we do the same thing. On the clearest night, we ask them, can you shut the generators off? So they pitch black the whole island. We're 8 miles
10
out.
10 miles out,
Yeah.
8 to 10 miles out from the coast. There's no ambient light. So when they turn off all the lights, you can see every star in the...
And that is, I could say we've done trips out west. And that was the one thing I sent to a friend of mine in South Dakota, the middle of nowhere. The one night I was sitting outside of the camper and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well,
I can imagine the difference
it's crazy.
that far out in the ocean. Yeah, there's still some ambient, but it was insane there.
It was crazy.
Well, the one island takeover, we had a lot of people from large cities. One
Yeah.
girl in particular was from New Orleans. This.
They're lucky they've ever seen a few stars.
Right,
Right,
exactly.
one of the cities that never sleeps. And when we turned out, we'll do a last call for the bar at that point in time, usually around 11 o'clock.
We give them about a half
And
hour
we give
with
them
lights
about a
out.
half an hour, 45 minutes with the lights off. And, we're like, hey, just go pick a spot out on the dock, grab a chair, lay down around the pool, whatever, and start stargazing.
Yeah.
And we actually had a client that was on that trip who was a
Astronomer.
astronomer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was actually a little bit jaded.
She begged us not to shut the lights out. She says, it's too misty out, we're not going to see anything. And
She begged.
they
She
shut the
begged.
lights out anyhow,
And
and
we were
everybody
like,
was
"No."
everybody was, oh my God, how beautiful. And she goes, I guess I'm a little jaded because I look through a telescope all the time at these.
And the
so.
girl from New Orleans looked at her and she says, if I see 5 stars, that's more stars than I see in New Orleans. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
so everybody's concept is a little different. And for them, just shutting the power off for 30 minutes was a huge treat.
Yeah. So, and really, at the end of the day, what we've kind of, what you've shared is, it's all about what you're looking for. It can be as debaucherous or as laid back and relaxed, really, as you want it to be.
Absolutely.
It really just comes down to your comfort level, your budget, and really what you want.
Absolutely. We've been doing a lot of European cruises with Desire, and that is just unbelievable. They're a little different than the, say, Bliss cruise. It's a party all day long. It's not a party all day long. You actually get off every day in a different port. But you're
Okay.
touring with people that are like-minded.
Sure.
Everybody's super friendly. Compared to going on a Carnival cruise, let's say, and doing an excursion with people, and doing it on a Desire cruise, total day and night. There's so much more
There's a
fun.
party
Even
on
the
the bus on the way to
even
the-
the excursions are fun.
Oh yeah, we've been on excursions on cruises we've gone on where nobody says 2 words to each other.
Yeah,
Sure.
This is
Yeah.
a party on the bus,
Right.
literally.
Right.
Everybody's talking to each other.
Yeah.
You meet
cool.
lifelong friends on these trips. We talk to people that we met 4 years ago still. We will chat with them, and sometimes if we're in town, we'll have dinner with them.
Yeah.
It's seeing the world in the lifestyle view is the best way to see the world. you know.
So many less restrictions and,
you know,
and less expectations.
We're doing some research on Amsterdam coming up, and then we're going to Cap d'Agde for the first time ever,
actually
which is a
looking-
forbidden city in France. It's total nude. There's 2 hotels that are lifestyle there, but the whole city's nude, and we've never been. And again, we want to put together a trip, and our motto is we won't send someone there if we haven't been there ourselves.
So there you go.
We're going to do that and possibly a riverboat cruise over there and figure out a good time to put on a new trip.
And we're also looking to expand our live aboard.
Yep.
We're looking into a ship in Cuba to take over for the week.
And that's a great trip for divers and non-divers. The non-divers have great beach days and snorkeling.
It is
Yeah.
typically a dive ship
Yeah.
where you can do up to 25, 26 dives a week if you choose to. But if you're not a diver and you just like to snorkel or you just like floating in the water, you'll have just as much fun.
Nice.
The
So,
one thing we didn't really touch on, especially for someone who hasn't gone on one of these trips before, would you say it's better for them to go with a group?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the reason is for one, you have a group leader, a host couple that can help them if they have questions or concerns. You know, we kind of watch out for our people, and if they have questions, we've had, in a very rare occasion that you have a single male that isn't playing by the rules, we have corrected that. You know, but being hosted travel is so much smoother. Your itinerary is pre-planned, a lot of it.
You have meet and greets
We
built
have
in.
meet
you
and
have
greets, the
parties
pool
built in.
parties. We take our own DJ, our own host couples, so there's constantly things to do. And that's our biggest thing is the tourism part of it.
okay. Good. Well, again, a lot of information, a lot of good information for, again, someone like us that's never done anything like this. We definitely appreciate the time you guys took. As again, you're busy. You're on your way out to Jamaica tomorrow morning as we sit
5
here.
a.m. to Edo.
So, again, we truly appreciate it. We appreciate the time getting to know you guys and everything about it. Listeners out there, check our website. We will make sure that there is a link to World Exotic Travel on the website. If you're thinking about any type of these trips, log on, get in touch with these guys. Small business, we definitely are ones about, helping out and promoting small business, the mom and pops. So again, thank you for your time and enjoy your few 2 weeks in Hito coming up?
Just 1 week this
Just
time.
one,
We
okay.
were 2 weeks in Rio, so
All right. Well, good. Yeah, again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate the time.
appreciate it.
All right. All right. Well, Mrs., I think we got some great information, some great pointers, and learned something. Mm-hmm. So when we getting our buns naked in the sand,
Sand in the crack? I don't know.
I'll take a towel.
Isn't that a bad thing?
And go wash off in the water. Just watch for the fishes.
We've still got a little time before our schedule allows for
Yeah, we're getting
that.
Maybe episode 100 is done from the
From a sandy beach?
sandy beach in Jamaica somewhere. Never know.
Maybe.
Again, want to thank John and Sheila for taking time out of their schedule. Again, they drove up to Pittsburgh, checked into a hotel. We had dinner, we recorded, and they went back to the hotel and went to bed, and we're on a flight the next day at almost 6 o'clock in the morning out to Jamaica. So
Yep.
it just a pleasure to really get to talk to them. And the fact that they made time to do that was great. Be sure to check out their website. It is in the show notes. There will be a link to their website on our website as well. Anything
Yes.
we can do to help the independent guys. My day business is about that, and it's always about helping each other out. So good people, reach out again if it's ever something that you're interested in, you're thinking about, because they will direct you to the right thing that's kind of going to fit for what you're looking for.
Right.
Which is really the most important thing. If you do this, you want to enjoy the trip, and based on what you're looking for, what you want, what experience level you might be, they can get you into the right thing that's going to fit for you.
Right. And as they said, they wouldn't send you on a trip that they haven't been on.
Yes. Any trip they book, they have done themselves personally, and vetted all locations and everybody that they use for these vacations, which I don't know of any travel agent that does that.
They're doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They got some good stuff. They talked about some cool upcoming things. So again, get on their mailing list and keep your eyes opened, and don't hesitate to give them a shout. Again, want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening every week. Remember, you can now pretty much subscribe a little bit of pretty much everywhere. Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Pandora, Spotify, Google. The listen feature on mobile on our website has been corrected with our new hosting site. So
you can listen right from the website.
Exactly. You can get inourtub.com and listen from your phone anywhere. Follow us on our social medias, Twitter and Instagram, Berg Couple for Fun, The Bergs on Facebook, Berg Couple for Fun on Reddit. Still trying to figure that stuff out.
Better you than me.
Yeah. Keep an eye out. Who knows? This whole TikTok world and misses. You never know. Next week, she may be shaking her cheeks on TikTok or something.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we need to start the Bergs TikTok.
Yeah. I think they have some boundaries. They're kind of like Facebook, but hey, whatever. I think you can get away with shaking your butt.
Maybe.
Yeah. Slapping the cheeks. Cool. Hey, maybe TikTok.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we are going to wrap up this week's episode. Again, we thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Take some time out to enjoy some things. Don't get too
burnout.
Don't get too
working yourselves
burnout
to death.
Yes, exactly. Especially during the winter time here. Take some time out of your day to spend with your family, your loved ones, those you care about. Pay for your porn. Wrap it before you tap it. Lick it before you stick it. And until next time,
we'll keep the lights on and the tub warm for you.